Welcome back to the Spiritually Conscious Soul 101 channel. In the previous episodes of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101, I spoke about the seeding of the human race through an extraterrestrial intervention called the Grand Experiment. Also established that the version of certain events in the Old Testament were stories hijacked from the Sumerian and Babylonian creation accounts that preceded the Hebrew version by as much as 3,500 years. In this session, I'd like to talk about another interesting aspect of human consciousness and the soul. We, as human beings, are drawn to make conclusions about certain metaphysical hypotheses. Anything that is termed as metaphysical is normally shunned by mainstream scientists and characterized as being unprovable and therefore excludable from any final conclusion that could lead to an established consensus. They posit that such considerations would provide a false foundation for the pursuit of scientific proof. However, I point to the proven facts of quantum mechanics, the most proven laboratory experiment of all time, where particles of matter can be present in more than one place at the same time. Where through a phenomenon called entanglement, also known as a state of superposition, particles of matter express an instantaneous communication with each other, no matter how far they move away from each other in space-time. Einstein referred to this as spooky action at a distance. And thanks to the Irish physicist John Stuart Bell, the idea that non-local action, as put forward by quantum mechanics, is indeed a provable science. Quantum physics or physicists also found that a quantum wave contains a particle in motion, and its exact position in the wave cannot be determined until a measurement is made, or there is the inclusion of an observer. The position of the particle can only be characterized as a probability. It is then thanks to quantum mechanics that we as humans can better understand the workings of our consciousness and, in essence, the peculiar sensation we might feel when confronted with what might appear to be an unprovable suggestion. Some might refer to this phenomenon as a feeling of the gut, and others might allude to it as a spontaneous deduction based on unknown factors. But when reduced to the quantum world, it is the work of two vibrational energies that become resonant. So what the incumbent soul experiences is a resonating of frequencies, and the ensuing experience is what constitutes a knowing. Again, we defer to the great Albert Einstein, who had this to say about resonating vibrations. He said, "When something vibrates, the electrons of the entire universe resonate with it. Everything is connected. The greatest tragedy of human existence is the illusion of separateness. Our separation from each other is an illusion." I'm sure we can all identify with the frustration of trying to explain a conclusion to a skeptic who is demanding detailed proof. The experience can be both exasperating and tiresome. Believe me, it is just better to say, "I resonate with this hypothesis," and leave it at that. You're serving notice that you cannot explain in detail why you believe something to be true, but you have a much higher and more accurate means of drawing the conclusion. You are resonating with the input from your subconscious mind. The subconscious is also known as the higher self and is the source of all known wisdom. Now let's clarify what I speak of: a higher self, a conscious and subconscious mind. How do we arrive at such an understanding? Well, to answer this important question, we need to return to the ancient Greek philosophers for a moment. In the 5th century BCE, the Greek philosopher Pythagoras is said to have spawned the idea that relates to a higher consciousness, also known as the subconscious mind or the higher self, which is accessible to the conscious mind. Hence the allusion to an interaction with the higher self. Pythagoras believed that all things were connected. He believed in the transmigration of souls, or the concept of reincarnation. To put the origin of his concepts into perspective, it was alleged that Pythagoras received his understanding from a mysterious baby, a star child, who was found alone under a tree staring at the sun, who was brought to him for nurture. This star child became the source of Pythagoras' many deductions and conclusions as taught to his entourage of followers. In my opinion, it can therefore be deduced that extraterrestrials were responsible for the precepts that underpin many core beliefs of the modern consciousness revolution. Yes, indeed, the meta-science behind consciousness, the conscious and subconscious minds, is an interesting study for those who might be drawn to understand its history. For a comprehensive study of Pythagoras, you can purchase the paperback or Kindle version from Amazon. You will see it inset in the background to my right. Be warned that this is a lengthy discourse, but the table of contents is well defined, which makes it easy to find any articles of interest. I should also point out that the subject of the conscious mind and conversations with the higher self can be found in the works of Dolores Cannon and the substantial work she did with her clients through the quantum healing hypnosis technique. Her book, The Convoluted Universe, also inset behind me, makes for a very interesting read. Well, dear viewers, the illusional concept of time appears to have wings, for in its educational flight through time and space it has caught up with us again. Before we close, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and should you like to make a comment, you can go to the website listed below and use the comment section, where there is a fillable form that can be utilized for that purpose. Thank you for watching my channel, and be sure to catch up with the latest material in the next viewing of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101.